Yeah, been a while since I've been around. Had some things going on in our life here lately. Brad's in the hospital, other things that are happening in life. But you know what? We've still been cooking. I just haven't documented a lot of it. But, like I said, the wife's in the hospital right now. And I'm going to make something she's not a big fan of. But like she said, utilize some of the stuff we have at the house before you go grocery shopping. So what I've got here is I've got some leftover brisket that we cooked just before she went into the hospital 10 days ago. I have got some potatoes. These are little small, I call them creamer potatoes. There are several different colors. You've got red potatoes, white potatoes, and some purple potatoes. Got some of my favorite thing in the world, onions. A lot of that, obviously. And got some garlic. Rough chopped. Not really minced, but rough chopped. Got one of my jalapeno peppers that I let go on the vine on the back patio until it was bright red. I took the seeds out of it and took out most of the membrane. Then I diced it up. And I have got some duck fat. Now, what's old Cranky about to do? Cranky is about to take all of this and turn it into some brisket hash. I'll see you all on the back patio. I'm going to cook this tonight on the back patio. I've got the little Coleman stove set up. Go ahead and get the burner going here. Always run it up to wide open first, and then I take it back down. The reason I do that is because the Colemans burn pretty efficiently, and it almost looks like there's nothing going on there. I'm going to bring the skillet over. The Grandma Emery skillet. And I'm going to put in the duck fat. Duck fat's been sitting at room temperature for a bit, so it comes right out of the container as it should. Gonna let that sit in there for a minute. Let her get hot. Then we'll drop in some potatoes, onions, and the rest. The little onion bits say it is time to start cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the potatoes. Get those going in there. And I'm going to add in the onions as well. So stir these up, get them going. May need to adjust the temperature, not sure. We'll just have to see how it goes. But I'm going to let these go. I want the potatoes to be almost soft. And I want the onions to be very soft before I add the garlic, because I don't want the garlic to burn. Put the garlic in there right now the way it is. By the time everything's done, it's going to burn up, and it's not going to be a good thing. As for the lighting that's out here right now, like I said, it's been a bad year. Things have gone crazy. My light that I usually use has died. I'm not sure what the problem is. Home alone, so I'm cooking this. Be back here in just a bit when it's time to stir in the garlic. I almost forgot something very important. The red jalapeno that I grew in our little herb garden. Like I said before, cut it in half, took the seeds and membrane out of it, and all I have here is just the flesh basically of the red jalapeno, but it's going to provide some flavor, maybe a little bit of heat. My experience, the red jalapenos, once you take the seeds and the membranes out, they don't provide a lot of heat. They just give a little bit of a hint that makes you go, oh yeah, there's some jalapeno. Now we'll be back when it's time to add the garlic. This has been going for just a little bit here, but not where I want to be at. If you look at the onions, they're still kind of firm, and what I want the onions to be is I want the onions to be a little soft. The potatoes, they'll get there as well, but this is the part where you can't really rush it. You got to kind of let the potatoes and the onions tell you what you want to do. So I'm still watching it. We're still going. Be back in a few. Yeah, those onions are starting to get cooked down pretty good. Let me see how these potatoes are. I want the potatoes to be just about almost fork tender. Yep, that's about where I want the potatoes to be. Now it's time to add some garlic. Needs garlic. Those of you that haven't watched the Crocodile Dundee movies, you don't know what I'm talking about, but trust me, it always needs garlic. Let's see, we're going to let this garlic go. Well, it's about done. Oh, it's starting to get really fragrant right now. It's starting to smell good. And then, once the garlic is about done, we'll dump in the brisket. Stir that up. And then we'll dine. Almost forgot. Some people have asked why I use wood, even though I'm using cast iron out here on the back patio. The reason I use the wood utensils, I use the wood spatulas, and I use some wooden spoons that you may or may not have seen on my old channel before it got shut down. The reason I use wood is two reasons. One, it's pretty forgiving. But the main reason I use wood when I'm using cast iron is wood, if you leave it sitting like that, doesn't melt. Yeah, you get you a good old plastic spatula or plastic spoon, you leave it laying on the side of cast iron like that, it's going to melt. Bring this up, no marks. Not to mention, wood, you get used to using that. You can cook in any type of skillet, pot, whatever. Doesn't matter if it's cast iron, ceramic lined, or Teflon. Wood's not going to mess up your pan. Trust me. This wood right here, it's walnut, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Candace's uncle, great uncle, somebody like that made this and several other pieces that we had in the house, and I've recently started using those and retired the other ones that I had. Bamboo works just as well, but hey, walnut is a lot more sexy than bamboo. Be back in a bit when I dump in the brisket. We are to the point now that the garlic is getting a little bit browned. Now it's time to put in the brisket. Now this brisket is something that I cooked weekend before last. We've had it in the refrigerator. I've cubed it up, and I've just put this in there cold. The reason I put it in there cold is kind of shock everything, shut it down a bit. And I'm going to stir this until the brisket starts to get warmed through. One of the ways I'll do this is I'm going to move everything around. I'm going to pat it down. Let that sit for a minute. Might kind of crispy up some things on the bottom. But give it a minute there. Stir it up. Do it again. I'll be back. Looking there now, let me kind of zoom in a bit. Kind of see some little crispy bits going on in here. I didn't trim the brisket. Any fat that was on there when I cut it up cold, I went ahead and left it on. The reason for that is I wanted that brisket fat to kind of render down. And that's what I'm after here. I want that brisket fat to render down, really get in there. This is not a heart-healthy meal. This is a comfort food, which good Lord knows I need right now. But let that brisket fat render down, and you'll end up with a most scrumptious bowl of goodness when it's done. Next time you see me, I'll be inside with a bowl of this, and we'll close it out. It's done. Probably one of the most ugly meals you'll ever make in your life. However, that right there, brisket hash, is some amazing stuff. Easy to do, doesn't take long. For those of you that drink beer, maybe 3-4 beers into it, you'll be good to go. But put this over into a bowl. And you're ready to rock and roll. Now, if I was doing this at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd dump in a couple of eggs that I'd loosely scrambled. Might throw in a little bacon, perhaps some summer sausage. What really makes it great is if you've got leftover sausage or something like that. It's always good. So, appreciate y'all following along. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Or if you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. I'm good. I'm easy. Y'all take care.